Most people don't know where video games originated. See, back in the 60s, the first games weren't done on computers. They were made with US radar equipment that was used to track things like Soviet missiles. Well, as it turns out, that wasn't all they were made for. By the time Pong rolled around, the government had fully implemented a thought experiment to see if it could control its populace using 2 bars and a white dot. Dubbed the Heisinger experiment, the vast majority of documents regarding the experiment are classified. The experimenters started with animals like turtles, chimps, and pigs. They would attach a pig to an electrode diode and allow them to manipulate the dial using an apparatus created specifically to match their particular appendage. The experiment started fine. The pigs were the most industrious, quickly learning that they would get a food pellet each subsequent time that they bounced the ball back. The turtles couldn't do anything at all. Most of the other animals, including ducks, took weeks to learn the pattern. Most died of hunger before then. The government was trying to super-evolve a race of mutant animals to do its bidding. At the time, the theory of evolution was a fairly new thing, and most of the Secret Service were fully convinced that they could create a super-powered duck, pig, and chicken man. It didn't work, however, as the only animal that had excelled at the game was the orangutan. By the time he had learned the basics of the game, he had gotten bored, being a typical orangutan. The Heisinger experiment wasn't over, though. They had one control subject left in their hypothesis: man. The experimenters became shocked that the man would beat the game, earn the food pellets, and not eat them, instead continuing to play the game. The experimenters had to make the game harder and harder to ensure that the man would keep playing the game. This was when the experimenters realized that man was the easiest mark. You could not reward a man with a food pellet, but you could reward him by making the ball faster, the bar faster, and the competition more frenzied. That man eventually beat the game, destroying the artificial AI, all of the pigs, and even 3 chickens that never had anything to do with the experiment in the first place. The government had a new training program. The Heisinger experiment became the Heisinger Project, named after the Heinz ketchup bottle used during its imagining by the scientists. They could easily make the game harder and harder, but why stop there? Little-known pornographic hotel shop, Nintendo Inc., was making casino masturbation games in Tokyo when the CIA contacted them to make a series of games to battle the communist menace. The first being a little man named Super Mario. But that was just the start of the propaganda. The United States Army contracted out several billionaires to create new Pong, Pong 2, and finally designed the first gun, the Nintendo Zapper. By teaching kids to enjoy shooting, the U.S. government could now start any war in the United States and recruit young men and women hungry to join the service and shoot down Pong balls not unlike the Nazis' ducks and planes that they did in their favorite digital video games. As technology increased, the player could now move in 3 dimensions, molding the modern soldier. The cold-blooded, emotionless killer. And it all started with 2 paddles, a ball, and a single man, the player. Rumors are that man went to run for president under the name Richard Milhouse Nixon the following year.